Back here in the 500 Club with the driver, the number 9, and the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series champion. Hard to believe that's been 2 years now.
I know, they go by really fast, so here we are.
You ready to get going? I know that it's going to be a different season. We have this next-gen car to work with, but how do you feel about the season?
You know, I feel good about it. I mean, I feel like it's always really hard to know kind of where you're going to stack up.
Pin the dot.
Yeah, when you're in Daytona, the season's really long, and a lot can change between now and November. But I feel like our team's always pretty level-minded as far as kind of what to expect and where we are and where we stack up, and obviously where we want to get to. But this year I think this year a lot's going to change. I think there's going to be teams that fire off and have just made all the right choices over the off season, some by design and probably some by mistake. And I think there's going to be a lot of teams that probably don't, and you're going to be potentially way off to start, and it's going to take you some time to figure all the little things out. And then I think as the season goes along, everybody's going to get really close, and the box is going to narrow, and we'll eventually have a product like we've been used to seeing by season's end.
Let's talk about these new cars first. We saw some testing. It was really the first taste we saw in super speedways, but takeaways from that test here at Daytona.
Yesterday or the actual test?
The actual test.
Oh, I wasn't here, so
I know, but you still had a notebook. Your chief was here.
Yeah,
Alan Gustafson was here.
Yeah, he was here. You know, just a bunch of small things. I mean, honestly, you know, for me personally, kind of more yesterday, just seeing some of the stuff that you don't see at other tracks here at Daytona for the first time. Most of my complaints are kind of all interior related, and just kind of getting all the little things that I want in the right place, and things that probably don't seem super important, but when you add 5 or 6 of them together, they end up mattering. You know, it ends up mattering. So I think those were my biggest problems. The car felt pretty good. I feel like it has pace. Alan always does a really good job of not overlooking the speedways and putting effort into it and caring. So I've always been super appreciative of that. So I feel like our car will be plenty good enough to win on Sunday. Just need to get all the small stuff right, and then try to have, you know, this car here on Sunday, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, for your test, we had Dale Jr. filling in for you guys. You just want to switch it on out with Junior there?
Yeah, he can. Yeah, well, with my record here, he's likely better off. Yeah, so no. I think I've crashed more than I've finished this race. But yeah, you know, Dale, I think he had a lot of fun with it, and you know, he does bring a lot of value at these tracks. I know he hadn't been doing it much the last couple of years, but there were things that he talked about that I'm not sure any of the rest of the guys would have said, myself included. So that does bring value to our team, and really appreciate him coming and taking a day off to hang out with our group.
He spent 4 minutes talking to me that test about the steering.
Wow.
You know, so
So
Dale
he was excited.
He was pumped. He was
Good.
pumped up. Let's hit on the rear view camera. That's going to be different for you guys. How's that going to translate into the race?
Well, my eyes don't like it. That's for sure. Like last night, I was trying to look at that thing, and it can definitely mess with you. I'm really curious to see kind of how that goes. And by the way, there's no way to dim it. So
bright lights.
Yeah. So if the sun goes down, you just are going to have a really bright, screen staring at you. But I haven't gotten used to that thing. I still find myself looking at the regular mirror, and the visibility's not great out of the normal mirror. But I feel like it's more in tune with like the depth of everything else.
Right.
And that little camera is just kind of, for me, it's been hard to find a bearing of where things are, and how close things are to your rear bumper or off to the side. Things get a little distorted, so I don't know. It might be the thing by the end of the weekend, but right now I'm still looking at the old mirror more than I am that.
I know fans are still asking about spotters. They're still important here, right? You still need a spotter's eye up in the sky.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's it's an important piece of plate racing. If there is a track where I feel like it's super necessary, I would say here is certainly one of them, just to kind of help paint that picture of what's going on. I mean, any really close call, getting into small area.
There's no close calls here, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those are, to me, all on the driver. I mean, you can't expect a spotter a mile away to fill that gap for you, but he can certainly help paint the picture of what's going on, and then you kind of make those tough decisions on your own and live with the result, you know, and not jump out and blame the guy for telling you something incorrect.
Well, we also always hear the talk about these manufacturers working together. Chevy's been pretty successful when it comes to these super speedways in the last 3 or 4 years, getting it done. You have a win that way. You were leading the train there. The Chevy's at the right place at the right time at the end. But different in these cars?
No. I mean, I think the manufacturers have all kind of created that monster, and I'm not sure it's going to go away.
What was it, the new Camaro, new Corvette? What were you guys selling 3 years ago?
We were selling the Camaro.
That's
yeah.
right.
So, yeah, you know, I don't see it going away to an extent. I mean, I think the manufacturers are going to stick together as it pertains to live pit stops or potentially restarts.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to come a time where, you know, it ends up kind of needing to figure itself out, but I think that's going to be a part of this type of racing for as long as the OEMs want it to be, and they find value in us working together to try to get, you know, in our case Chevrolet a win, and it does seem to open up opportunities at certain points in time.
Well, the last 2-3 years, Hendrick has been riding that momentum. I talked to you about it when we had media day about a month ago. Still feel like the momentum is strong over there at HMS?
I think it's really hard to carry momentum from season's end to a new year, and especially with everything that has changed. So, you know, if we were coming into the year without a new car, I would find it a little easier to be able to build off some of the things that we had going last year. But with this, I feel like it's tough for anybody to take from last season forward. So, you know, I feel like our engine department's been in a great place. You know, that is one thing that can carry over, and I think it will. You know, I feel really good about that, and hopefully we can continue to build it and get better. But those guys have been knocking it out of the park, you know, for you know, really since the end of 2020, and I think that's an important piece, and will always be an important piece whatever car we're driving. So have that going. So hopefully it continues, and we'll see.
The winningest organization in NASCAR history with Hendrick Motorsports. You guys got the 269 wins. You checked that box. You kept right on going. You got a championship for the second year in a row, back to back. Can it be a third for Hendrick? Is this a third year?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I feel like again, long year, but I feel like we have as good a shot as anybody at this point. So, you know, we'll let you know in November, I guess.
Finally, off season, a lot of racing for you Chase Elliott fans. You got to see him in a lot of different things. Favorite part of the off season? Give me a highlight.
Oh, that's tough. I didn't do a bunch of different stuff. Ran, you know, some midget races out
Nitro.
west. And Nitro, you're right.
See?
Yeah, that is very true. I almost forgot. You know, honestly, probably the rallycross race for me.
The
was,
one he forgot
yeah,
about.
yeah, thank you for that. Super fun, and I definitely want to get back in and go do that again. Those guys were great. Fun to be around, really fun environment, and the cars are really, really cool. So yeah, I would love to do that again. I probably had. I shouldn't say that because other stuff was really fun too, but that one was the most different of anything I have done, really in anything on four wheels. So definitely enjoyed that.
All right, and then last one. I've asked every driver this. This is the obvious question, but to put your name on that Harley J. Earl trophy, what would it mean?
You know, I hate the what would it mean questions. I mean, heck, I don't know. I hadn't done it. I mean, I don't know.
You get some tears in victory lane? Will we cry? Scream?
Maybe.
Smile? Can
maybe.
we get a smile?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Potentially.
Good.
If you're lucky.
All right.
So, yeah. I mean, obviously, this is a huge event. You know, and I think for me, you know, it's definitely one where I want to end my career and have said you want it. I think everyone does, but you know, it is a large piece of our sport, and there's a lot of great drivers who have, you know, added their name to the trophy, and I think everyone here wants to add to that list if you haven't already, you know, and us being one of those that haven't already. So looking forward to the opportunity, and we've had some close shots at it. So hopefully this week will be the opportunity that goes our way.
All right, well, a packed grandstand for this race on Sunday, and a lot of 9 fans hoping he'll take it to victory lane for the Daytona 500.